Hi everyone, I'm Dr. Lauren Nahas, and I've been teaching writing online for about 10 years now. And so I just wanted to share some of my favorite features from Canvas's Speedgrader that allow you to give students feedback on their writing. So let's go take a look at my course. And so from the homepage of your course, you will be able to see a to-do list with assignments that are ready for you to give students feedback on. And if you just click on that, it automatically takes you into Speedgrader. And I submitted a essay for a test student. And so Canvas has a guide for Speedgrader that goes through all the details of this interface. But really, for giving feedback purposes, you're interested in these tools right here. So the student, whatever the student submitted, it could be an image, it could be a document like this one. Whatever you've asked them to submit will appear in this window over here. And then you can use all of these tools to annotate that document. And so the primary ones that I use are this highlighter, where I can highlight wording and say, I'm not sure what you mean, or whatever I want to say. I can use these place markers to leave a general comment. Paragraph is nicely focused. I can add text boxes and say some stuff. I can use this cross through option. I don't really use this. I've never used this before, but it's nifty that it's there. And so you can see with all of these options, you're allowed to add a comment to the annotation to explain why you're leaving that annotation. And then, you have a little paintbrush where you can draw whatever you want. So you can change the size of that line as well and add a comment to those lines. And then this one's kind of cool. I've never used this one before either, but you can place a box around text, and you can say like, this would be more appropriate in the conclusion, or something along those lines. Okay, so you have a ton of different options in terms of annotating the actual text. Then over on the right side, you have all this information about when they submitted it. You could download their file if you wanted to here. And then you can give it a grade. I've attached a rubric to this, and Canvas has a standard video for how to create and attach rubrics that I'll provide a link to. But yeah, I can type in this is very strong, or whatever I want to say. And then if I find you go down and you fill out everything in the rubric and hit save. But there's a really cool feature where if you feel like you're saying something like this on paper after paper after paper, you can click save this comment for reuse, and then for the next student's paper, you can select that saved comment for that particular criteria of the rubric. So that's really helpful if you do find yourself repeating. And then you fill this all out. You'll notice mine doesn't have any points. I don't assign points to the specific areas of my rubrics. I just lay out the criteria and then make comments on that criteria. And then you click save for the rubric. Oh, and then basically my favorite feature of Canvas Speedgrader is that you can add a media comment. And you can record video, but I don't do that because I find that the files are too large. So I'm going to go to webcam, select no video. Then I'll record my comment once it's ready. Hi there, this is a great paper. And so I like the audio comments because you can, use the inflection in your voice to, soften things if you have to give them bad news, if maybe the paper didn't pass, or you can show enthusiasm in your voice. It's just a way that you can kind of maintain a personal connection with your students. So that's why I really like audio comments, and I just find them less tedious than constantly typing. And yeah, I think SpeedGrader's tools just give you a wide range of different ways to respond to the students. I want to be clear that I'm not saying you should use all of these features. I think you should pick the ones that make sense for you, because if you used all of these features, it would be an enormous amount of work, and it will probably be an overload of feedback for the students. Okay, so back to the paper. I can also add just a general comment here. Hit submit. And now I'm going to show you what it's like on the student's end to get this feedback. So I'll go back to the homepage of my course. There I can find student view. Okay, and on the student's end, to get to that feedback, they can go in through grades, where this 1 indicates that a new grade is available. And then they go in there. And this is the assignment that I just gave feedback on. It's got this dot kind of indicating that it's new feedback. This is the grade out of 100. This is the comment bubble, where there's the media comment. There is the text comment. They click on this clipboard icon to see their rubric. And then to get to the annotation feedback on the actual document, they go here, click view feedback, and then they could expand that page to see everything. So I think students that are, going into remote instruction will maybe need some guidance on how to locate the feedback that you've left for them. So I hope that gives you some ideas of different ways or different options you have in giving students feedback on their writing. Thanks.